So, back in the 1940s, the Manx Amateur Dramatic Federation, or MADF, came into being. Now, this is a local charity managed by volunteers who are passionate about all aspects of theatre. And MADF is responsible for the One Act Play Festival, the Easter Festival of Full-Length Plays, and the Young Actor of Mann competition, which really does promote the artistic talent of the island's young people. And we know just how much talent there is over here. We talked yesterday about Sam Barks on the show, to name but one, who's made her mark on the global stage. So this is really looking after people at a grassroots level and getting them onto the bigger platforms. And the reason that we're talking about this afternoon is because you have a chance to get involved, and we talk about that more in just a moment. Current chair of MADF, Clare Austin, is with us, along with Christian Cooper, who won Young Actor of Mann in 2015, and Lois Mooney, who won the accolade in 2016. Lovely to have you all with us this afternoon. Should say at this point that Lois will be able to answer the dating jargon questions for us. That's what you get, Lois, isn't it, for being down with the kids and all that. But Claire, first of all, as I say, you are chair of MADF. Why would you say, first of all, it's so important to have this federation?
Well, the federation was founded, as you say, in 1940s to support amateur theatre. I mean, over the decades, amateur theatre has changed, and you've got the larger groups like DCU, the Manx Ops. Manx Ops are still a member of MADF, fortunately, which we're very happy about. But they've kind of gone in their own direction. But there are still the smaller groups like Arbory Theatre, Russian, Service Plays. Service Plays obviously is a bigger group, but same sort of category. Amateur theatre, all of them, Legion Players. And then the youth side, Broadway, Stage One. We are here then to put on those festivals so that they have a valid stage to perform on. And also the other good thing about it is playwrights get a chance to put on their own play to a paying audience.
And how did you come to be involved with MADF?
Yes.
Oh, sounds like there's a story.
Well, I moved here in 2015, July 2015. By October 2015, I was the chairman of MADF. I was kind of bamboozled into it. But at the time, because I do have an interest, I was a stage manager before I came here. At the time, I did think it would be a good way to get to know people. And boy, was it a good way to get to know people.
And it is a flourishing scene, as you say. I mean, every week there are different productions on at different locations, and we have some amazing theatrical spaces on the island.
Yeah, I mean, although it's amateurism, the professionalism of people, Parker and Snell recently did one at the Gaiety, and you got Peter Pan on at the Villa, all sorts, a complete variety.
And we're talking, obviously, going to be speaking to Lois and Christian shortly anyway about the sort of acting side of things and performing side of things and the excellent young talent over here. But you mentioned playwrights there. I think, do we have a good scene of playwrights from the island as well?
Well, I can think of at least two. I'm sure there are more. Actually, no, I know three that have been involved in the One Act Festival. The names are escaping me just at the moment. Possibly... Beth can help me out later. But there is also, as part of the competition, as the NIDFA Festival, the National Drama Federation, which is what the One Act Play Festival goes towards, they have a competition prize for a playwright, and a playwright which is first screened at One Act Play Festival is a valid entry to that. And there's a beautiful prize, I can't remember what it is offhand, but that now gets sponsored by Creswell's Publications, I think it is.
Well, we are joined by Christian and Lois, both winners of the Young Actor of Mann accolade. Lois, when did you start acting, first of all?
So I started with Stage One when I was around 4 or 5, and I actually started with musical theatre, and it wasn't until, and I mean, musical theatre is obviously kind of an umbrella term for everything. You really nowadays are expected to be a triple threat or a quadruple threat as it is now. You're expected to know how to play an instrument as well. But acting kind of came under that for me, and I never really concentrated on acting until I probably get to like an older age where I could really kind of understand texts that I was reading, and so musical theatre is what everything stemmed from. And then I really got into acting with my teacher Olivia Black, probably from the age of about 11 when I did Annie, and then from there it was kind of, right, this is actually something that I really want to do and invest my time in. And then I took part in the Young Actor of Mann and was fortunate enough to win, And from there I went off to GSA last year with the prize that was given to me, and I spent two weeks at Guildford School of Acting and did the most insanely intense 2 weeks of my life, and was having acting lessons every single day for like 2 or 3 hours at a time. And I think that I'd never seen acting in that kind of light before, and just getting to know about Shakespeare. I mean, Shakespeare, you're taught in school, obviously, and it can seem, I don't know, boring. My English teacher's going to hate me for saying that, but it can seem boring to most people. I think that the like really common misconception is that it is boring, but it's because we don't understand it. And acting just opens up so many more doors. By acting it, you're getting involved, you're first hand there, you're in it, and it just helps you understand so much more about everything that you're reading just by acting. And acting, you are being a different person. It's a form of escapism, and that helps so much with everything in life nowadays, I feel.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it can give you life skills, can't it? And
Yeah,
have you
definitely.
noticed a big change in yourself since you've been doing it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I work in customer service. I work as a customer assistant at Marks and Spencer's. And I mean, my acting skills have really helped me to talk to people even. I mean, when you're having a bad day, for example, you can't let a customer know that. So you've got to be upbeat all the time. And acting just helps so much with that.
Christian, how did you get into acting?
Well, I started a Broadway theatre company when I was 5 years old. I started acting and singing, and honestly, I hated it at the start. I didn't want to be there. But then 2 years in, I started private lessons, and I think that's when I really started to enjoy it. And from then, I started LAMDA exams, I started singing exams, and I've done dancing here and there, but you know, it's not my forte. But since I started doing shows, I've kind of thought to myself, like, why would I not want to be doing a job where I can be someone else on a stage, playing whoever I want? Like that's in my mind, that is so fun to do. So I mean, earlier this year, I made the decision that I wanted to go across to audition, and I only chose one school because I didn't want to do too much, and I chose Reed. And luckily enough, I got accepted, and I guess the new journey starts in September, and I'm really excited to take it on.
That's absolutely brilliant. It's just amazing to see two people who are so passionate about something and really being able to take that dream forward. Because Lois, you're going away in September as well.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to arts educational schools in Chiswick.
Wow.
So what do you each hope to be doing then? If you're looking ahead, like the next 5-10 years or something, where do you each hope to be? Lois, where do you hope to be?
Well, I mean, the dream's always going to be on stage, performing every day, doing what you love. Making people happy, I think, is also the main goal of everything that a performer does. I mean, if you're not doing it for yourself, obviously, then who are you doing it for? And you've got to think those people in the audience are getting so much from what you're doing, and seeing how happy you can make someone, that's always going to be the goal. But I think being on stage, just doing what I love every day, that's the goal, really.
And Christian, what's your dream?
I agree with Lois. I'd love to be on stage, because like every time someone claps or you see people smiling in the rows, it just gives you such an adrenaline rush and such a buzz, and there's like nothing else I'd rather do than that.
I'm intrigued to know from both of you, because you both talked about sort of acting lessons. Is it something you can teach someone, or do you have to have that innate ability first of all, would you say, Lois?
I believe it comes from the soul, definitely, and you have to be in the moment, I guess, and it's really hard for some people I know to kind of get out of this whole mindset of, oh my gosh, I look stupid doing this, or I feel wrong doing it. But I think you can be taught to act. Like, there's definitely an understanding to the texts that you're reading and knowing how to kind of perceive those texts, and that can be taught. But the joy and the passion that comes behind it, that's innate. That's not taught.
And Christian, the important thing to remember as well with productions is it's not all about being on stage. That understanding of what goes on to put it all together, whether it's backstage props, lighting, sound and whatever, is hugely important as well.
Yeah, you've got to be switched on 100% all the time, because if you lose focus, you're going to either have someone shouting at you, telling you to do something, or you just panic. So that's the thing. You've always got to be ready and always got to be thinking, and also you've always got to have your character in the back of your mind whilst you're trying to remember steps, which is always a hard thing for me to do. But as like years have gone by, I feel like everyone I've done shows with, like Lois, like we've all came on, like we've all got along, we've all been better friends, and we came on as like performers so much, which is like really good to see from like my point of view anyway. It's just been great to see everyone do so much better and progress as like a performer, which is really nice.
Claire, I bet as a stage manager you've never shouted at anybody, have you? Maybe we
Just
shouldn't
quietly.
go there. But we are talking about MADFA predominantly, and this is because you have your AGM tomorrow. It's happening at 7:30 at the Empress Hotel.
It is indeed.
And what's brilliant about this is, as we were saying, it's not just about being on stage and being at the forefront of productions. You need all sorts of people with all sorts of skills to get involved.
Yeah, and we do, as you said before, we rely on volunteers. I've just made a quick list. I'm sure I've missed some out. But, from the treasurer to front of house, even to baking cakes, this is particularly appreciated by the backstage crew during the Easter Festival. And I'm sure the One Act Festival would like the same. And then you've got PR, advertising, admin, marketing. The list is endless. If you want to get involved with local drama but don't want to get on the stage, come along to a committee meeting and have a chat with us and see if there's something that you can do for us.
And what sort of commitment do you expect of people?
Can be anything. As I say, if you do front of house, then that would just be for the Easter Festival, then that would just be one week front of house. Or if you want to do something more continuous, you could get involved with the online admin of the website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we all do, but I'm not up to date with Twitter or Instagram. I need somebody younger to do that. So any of those areas, and however much you want to commit, more than welcome.
And we've been talking to Lois and Christian, and obviously the Young Actor of Mann really has given you a massive boost in going forwards and doing what you want to do. If there's any young people listening who think, I quite fancy that, I mean, what sort of things involved in going forward for that competition, Lois?
I mean, it does take dedication. You do need to practice really hard. There's 2 rounds to the Young Actor of Mann, so you have your initial performance, I guess, and then from there the group gets shortlisted, and then they then go on to the final and they all perform against each other. But you just need to know your pieces, know what you're doing, and really love what you're doing as well. If you go in doing a piece that a teacher's handed you and just do it how they've told you to do, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's no point. If you don't love what you're doing, if you don't feel it, if you don't have some form of connection, then what are you doing it for? So I think just like loving what you're doing is probably the biggest piece of advice I can give, and just really being in that moment, and for the 10-20 minutes that you're on the stage, just putting everything else out of your mind and just being the people that you're playing. And
Christian, how did you feel when you realised you'd won that?
Well, I was a very happy child. It was a big moment. I mean, I was shocked. It's such a good accomplishment. I mean, you can say you've won the Young Actor of Mann first time as well. I mean, it's just a great feeling. Like, it's probably one of the best feelings I've had winning something. Like, I was so happy when I won it, to be honest.